We just have to shift tracks now from the entire controversy surrounding this one particular film, Padmavati, to some other news. After demonetization and the goods and services tax, the government has now approved a fresh set of economic reforms. The Union Cabinet, which met earlier this morning, has approved 49% foreign direct investment in Air India. This means foreign investors can now invest money in the airline. The government has also approved other amendments in the FDI policy, which includes 100% FDI in single brand retail trading under the automatic route. 100% FDI under the automatic route has been okayed by the construction development. The foreign institutional investors have also been allowed to invest in the power exchanges through the primary market. The government has also said the decision would help in the ease of doing business and also lead to larger FDI inflows, contributing to the growth of investment, income and employment.
Between the digital haves and have.
Managing Editor, Business Today, Rajiv Dubey is with us. I'm also going to be joined by Paulomi for more on this. And Rajiv, coming to you first, big news about Air India's disinvestment and the entire process, expeditiously finished, which only goes on to exhibit the seriousness of the government in terms of privatizing the national carrier.
Yes, Avantika, but it seems that this 49% stake sale is some kind of an interim measure because the government actually intended to sell Air India. And 49% is not something that anybody would like to buy if he's not getting control of the company. So this looks like an interim measure because the committee under Arun Jaitley was actually meant to disinvest, find ways to disinvest Air India. Finally, the committee has decided that Air India probably needs another 5 years to turn around, and then maybe the government will get a better price out of it. So 49% stake sale looks like an interim measure where they can get a foreign airline, help in reviving Air India and turning around Air India, and then maybe either that very airline or somebody else can buy the company.
Interesting. And Paulomi, 100% FDI in single brand retail. So a lot of big announcements coming in today from the government, a lot of processes being cleared and the government really wanting to speed up the economy and also ensure that a lot more money is invested into the country.
That's right. Big policy announcements which have been made after the cabinet meeting this morning, specifically the CCEA meeting which happened ahead of the cabinet meeting. What the government has announced is several policy relaxations in terms of FDI in India. In terms of aviation, of course, you were talking about the same of 49% approval for foreign investment in Air India, which was not the case earlier. They did allow for foreign investment up to 49% through the approval route, but not for Air India altogether. Now they've removed that restriction altogether, and it will allow for foreign investment in Air India. Of course, the substantial ownership and of course control of the airline per se will stay with an Indian national, is what the government has said. So that is a big policy announcement. Single brand retailing as well. We're already hearing of opposition coming in for the same as well. Small players who have small businesses and small shop owners already raising the red flag over this, saying that this will kill small businesses. Your corner shops, your mom and pop stores altogether will take a hit as a result of the government allowing for 100% FDI as far as single brand retailing is concerned through the automatic route. Earlier it was the approval route. Now it allows for the automatic route. This because the government says that it wants to bring in more investment into the country. It wants to make ease of doing business possible. Foreign investment is the non-debt finance route which the government wants to adopt, and it has already seen quite a substantial jump since this government came to power in 2014.
Rahul Srivastava, National Affairs Editor's big policy announcements, Rahul, 100% FDI in single retail and also the disinvestment news of Air India. Obviously, all these big announcements being made with an eye to boost economic trade and also create jobs, something that the government has been targeted by the opposition for.
Avantika, the government's condition, if you see the condition of the government's finances, right now what we can say is that the revenue generation has fallen. And one of the reasons for the revenue generation fall has been the GST collection. Since a lot of modalities are yet to being worked out, there has been a fall as far as the collections from GST is concerned, which took over a slew of taxes. Apart from that, the government already has announced that it is going to borrow extra 50,000 rupees from the market and which might actually disturb the government's fiscal discipline. Given a scenario in which the earnings of the government are falling and somewhere the government's expenditure is rising, the only option for the government to keep the economy on a growing trajectory is to get foreign direct investment, because private investment in India has been reluctant and is likely to remain reluctant. And that is why the government has opened up the FDI route in several sectors. As far as the Air India is concerned, I would like to say is that this is the next step. Actually, there was an interministerial group set up under Mr. Arun Jaitley, the finance minister, which has been holding discussions for the disinvestment in Air India. A transaction advisor has been appointed, which will be submitting a report on the modalities. But the next step to be taken was that some foreign entity could control 49%, so that they can have finances. And that is why it also indicates the government is no more ready to shoulder the burden of losses of entities like Air India.
Rahul Srivastava, Rajiv Dubey and Paulami, thank you all for joining us. Moving on now, after the government's two big ticket reforms, that's the goods and services tax and demonetization, the World Bank has given a thumbs up to the Indian economy with the 2018 Global Economics Prospect released by the World Bank that projects India's GDP growth to pick up to 7.3% in 2018-19 and then to 7.5% over the next 2 years. According to the report, India's future is looking good on several fronts. Strong private consumption, services are expected to also continue to support economic activity. Private investment is expected to revive as the corporate sector adjusts to the goods and services tax. The World Bank projections look quite good even in comparison with China. The World Bank report has projected the Chinese economy to further slow down to grow at 6.4% in 2018 from 6.8% in 2017. And the World Bank's positive report about the Indian economy has come as a huge relief for the government at a time when they have been facing quite a lot of criticism over the handling of these two big policy announcements, the GST and demonetization.
World Bank says something bad, then you denounce the World Bank. Now they say something good, so you want me to react. Who's World Bank? When I've got CSO, why should I listen to World Bank? I think this inferiority complex of the Indians must go. Stop looking at foreigners' appreciation of yourself. Look at what your own appreciation is. Do the people of India appreciate you? Yes, then it's important. Not what some bureaucratic agency in Washington appreciates or doesn't appreciate you.
The World Bank saying that we have potential is welcome. We believe we have potential, but we think that this government is toying with that potential, and that might be very hurtful for India's economy in the years to come. But let's see what happens.
We are grateful to the World Bank for its positive assessment of India's economy that will boost investor confidence and I think increase investments into India. India is still one of the bright spots on the global stage. We need to remember that this level of growth means very little unless it translates to the common person in terms of job, in terms of mitigating agrarian distress, in terms of better quality education.
Thanks for watching the video. For more such news and updates, please like, share and subscribe to India Today. Also check out our other great videos from our channel. We know you will love to.